Hello, I'm Simon Whistler, you're watching TopTenzNet, and in the video today we're looking at the top 10 absurdly extravagant purchases by the Chinese ultra-rich. You know, the rich are different from you and me, goes the simple yet famous quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald, and he might as well have been talking about the peculiar antics of the super wealthy in 21st century China. While it's a nation with over 5,000 years of collective history, it's only been since 2014 that China has claimed the title of being the world's economic leader in modern times. Alongside this rise in the country's status, there has emerged a privileged group of over 8,000 Chinese citizens who qualify as ultra-high net worth individuals with over $30 million in assets each. The obvious question, besides how to make that much money in the first place, is, of course, what to spend it on. And while tropical vacations and fancy yachts might come to mind as logical options, it seems that the tastes of the Chinese jet-set crowd are a little more peculiar. And just before we get started with this video, I'd like to apologize for any butchering of Chinese names. It's somewhat inevitable. Number 10. A dog with lion's blood. Even the richest people in the world are prone to having four-legged best friends, as Paris Hilton and her Chihuahua Tinkerbell once proved. Though normally such pals do not cost $2 million US. That is approximately how much a mysterious property developer paid to buy his Tibetan Mastiff, a type of shaggy, lion-looking dog with a strong pedigree and huge proportions. This specific puppy is one of a pair of twins, and it weighed almost 200 pounds when he got it and was considered by the breeder, doing an excellent sales job, to have lion's blood that would make him a top-of-the-range Mastiff stud. But while this $2 million purchase in early 2014 certainly set new pet precedent, Tibetan Mastiffs have already been recognized as a status symbol for rich Chinese since at least 2011, when a similar pup sold for only $1.5 million. Number 9. 2 gold Apple Watches for 2 paws. If the ultra-wealthy among the Chinese are liable to spend millions on their furry companions, then perhaps it's not so shocking that they must also drop wads of cash for the best in animal accessories. But does any dog really need 1, much less 2, of the latest Apple product? Wan Xikong, the 27-year-old son of one of the richest men in China, seemed to think so. In May of 2015, he bought a couple of the electronic wearables for his husky Kiki and posted the evidence to Weibo, the popular Chinese social media platform. These were the same model of gold Apple Watches that had originally sold out just 1 hour into their first day of release in China, even at the asking price of up to $20,000 each. Of course, despite the overwhelming demand for the gold watches, not everyone in China was of the same mindset, with Mr. Wang and Kiki receiving outraged Weibo comments decrying the money squandered on those new toys. Number 8. Australia's highest priced apartment. The tallest building in Melbourne, Australia, is still being constructed, but is expected to be ready in 2019. Sitting at the top level of this building will be a magnificent penthouse, one that covers 750 square feet, is worth 25 million Australian dollars, and now belongs to a Chinese businessman. Described as a very private and extremely wealthy Chinese national with a family who spends time in New York, London, various parts of China, as well as Melbourne, this lucky purchaser will soon enough enjoy his privacy from the 100th floor with a 360-degree view of the city he lives in, sometimes. Along with a glass elevator to take him up from the private entrance at floor 98, the penthouse will also boast a 3-story spiral staircase and a private rooftop courtyard for stargazing. The businessman might also be joined by his fellow countrymen, as reports have shown that Chinese buyers are purchasing around 12% of the new homes in Australia. Number 7. China's costliest car. Focusing closer to home, another Chinese businessman became the first owner of a Hongqi L5 luxury sedan when he ordered one for just over $800,000 from the 2014 China Auto Show. Although not the most expensive car the globe has ever seen, that honor goes to the Bugattis and the special edition Lamborghinis of the world, the Hongqi does rank as the most valuable Chinese car ever made. For comparison's sake, the Audi R8 automobiles made famous in the Iron Man movies retail for under $120,000 each, which means that this unnamed Chinese businessman is easily at least as rich as Tony Stark. With honky meaning red flag, and with various previous models having served as the official car of the Communist Party, this purchase of the modern honky sedan seems like a patriotic choice. Either that or a necessary one, as the Chinese government started to ban certain foreign brands, including Audi and BMW in 2011, to encourage more domestic production. Number 6. A chicken cup worth over $35 million. For some of China's ultra-rich, collecting antiques seems to be a sound investment. In this area, perhaps no antique purchase was as newsworthy, for a few different reasons, as Liu Yiquan's successful 2014 bid of over $35 million for a chicken cup, so called because of the chicken drawings on its sides. This rare, palm-sized porcelain collectible is over 500 years old and is regarded as the holy grail of Chinese art. So, as the proud owner of such a special item, what might one do with it? Well, if you were Mr. Liu, you would have chosen to drink tea from the antique treasure while still at the auction site, and then have your photo from this indulgent moment go viral and cause anger across the country at this improper display of wealth. But on the upside, Mr. Liu did earn 422 million American Express points for his special purchase after needing to swipe the card 24 times to complete the transaction. Number 5. A silk tapestry worth over $45 million. Not to be outdone by, well, himself, Liu Yiquan's major purchases in 2014 also included a Tibetan thanka, a silk tapestry, the one and only of its kind that is privately owned. This set a new record for the value of Chinese artwork sold at an international auction. Liu acknowledged that the auction was a very tough battle with a reasonable final price, and the win allowed the multimillionaire to again make the headlines while adding to his collection at his private Long Museum. Having come from humble working-class backgrounds, Liu has been recognized in his country as uncultured, yet leads the way in fine art collection and the celebration of national art and artists. A younger generation of Chinese art collectors has followed suit, with contemporary art purchases of merely a few $1 million at a time. Number 4. A whole bunch of properties in Vancouver. When it comes to real estate, Vancouver has become known as both one of the best places in the world to live and correspondingly one of the most expensive places in North America. The latter fact hasn't seemed to faze the numerous Chinese foreign investors who have scooped up a number of properties in the Vancouver area for sometimes shocking prices. In 2014, a Chinese buyer paid almost 52 million Canadian dollars for a mansion that included a 10-car parking garage. Another 2014 house purchase in a posh area of the city saw Chinese buyers paying 8 million Canadian dollars, which was $2 million over the original asking price. But while they bring big money to the table, the prevalence and power of Chinese buyers have caused some concern for local citizens who do wonder about the long-term effects on the real estate market. At the same time, without these circumstances, we would never have been graced with the existence of the reality YouTube series Ultra-Rich Asian Girls in Vancouver, which would have been an enormous loss to society indeed. Number 3. A custom grand piano with crystallized gold. With one of the most famous and talented modern pianists, Lang Lang, coming from China, it seems fitting that some of the Chinese super rich should choose to spend their wealth on luxury musical instruments. The best example of this might be the Sound of Harmony, known as the world's most expensive Steinway grand piano, constructed over a period of about 4 years for about 1.2 million British pounds. This elaborately designed and named piano has a peacock image theme and was built using 40 layers of different woods and branded with the Steinway logo in crystallized gold. And while the Sound of Harmony may be in a class of its own at the moment, it is conceivable that there may be more luxury Chinese pianos emerging in the near future, as there are now over 40 million Chinese children striving to become the next piano legend. Number 2. The most expensive hotel in the world. If $25 million for an Australian penthouse and $50 million for a Canadian mansion were not quite impressive enough, then perhaps the purchase of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City might fit the bill. For the bargain price of just under $2 billion, a group of Chinese businessmen and their insurance company secured ownership of the historic Big Apple building in late 2014 with an initial deposit of $100 million. Formerly owned by the Hilton family, the Waldorf is situated above Grand Central Station and known for its Art Deco design and famous salad that includes apples, walnuts, and a mayonnaise dressing. With plans for a major renovation to restore the hotel to its historic grandeur, it probably won't be too long before the hotel starts paying for itself with visitors eager to enjoy the modern Waldorf experience. Number 1. An $11 million wedding day. Most parents would likely agree that their child's wedding is a joyous occasion to be celebrated, and many parents might even chip in for some of the costs. But for Xing Libin, a chairman of the Shaanxi coal mining company, no expense was too much for his daughter's big day in spring of 2012. Rumored to have cost over $11 million in total, Xing footed the bills for 3 private jets to fly friends and family to the special occasion, as well as rooms at the Marriott, Ritz, and Hilton 5-star hotels. And of course, there was his daughter's dowry of 6 Ferraris, because clearly 5 is not enough. However, as extravagant as this event was, it has already been eclipsed by another multi-million-dollar Chinese wedding that featured only 1 red Ferrari, but did include a convoy of 30 Rolls-Royce Phantoms and a fleet of luxury motorcycles. And the price tag for this particular occasion? Almost 3 times what Xing had paid. So thank you for watching that video, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do give it a like below, it really helps us out, and subscribe to our channel. We have over 500 videos just like this, and new videos are being put out every day. Also, if you enjoyed this one, over there on the right, a couple of other videos you might also enjoy. And thanks for watching.